I'm here with David Howard with Crosspointe Church, and we're talking about teens. Now, whether or not you have children or not, I think this is interesting. David Howard is our youth minister at Crosspointe Church. You've been there how long?
Actually,
over a year now.
On July the 18th, so we're getting really close.
Okay, July 18th. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yes, coming up really quickly. We've got all kinds of, and our 6-year anniversary is the day after that. So,
okay.
My beautiful bride. So.
Well, and 3 babies.
Yeah, we're wild and crazy around our house. You really
watch how you say that.
Seriously. Yeah, no, that's taken care of. That's
no
done.
More babies.
So, yeah, no, we're done with that. No,
all right. Well, you don't mind telling your age, do you?
No, I'm 29. Just turned 29.
And you have 3 children, ages ranging from?
Andrew is less than 1, obviously. 0, I guess you could say. Abby is 2, and Hannah is 4.
Long way from teenagers.
Thank goodness. I'm going to tell you what. I love our teens. I love our youth. I love my kids, but we're not trying to to push them too quick to get there.
Right. You've got a lot of time here.
No, take our time there.
I want to share an article with you. It says almost 15% of teens expect to die young, the survey finds. This is a survey that was taken in Chicago. 20,000 teens, David. Yeah. And they think they're going to die before the age of 35, so they're taking more risks. They're fearless. They're not afraid to try drugs. They're trying more dangerous things because they don't think they're going to live long anyway.
Yeah, I think there's this attitude out there. Fearless. I think what was ironic about that was I was thinking about that this morning is even when they think that they're fearless, even inside of saying that they're fearless or that they're doing these things that are fearless, there still is fear built into what they're trying to do. Suicide in itself, and I'm not a counselor and I don't know everything about suicide, but what I find about teens the most is that there's fear that's incorporated and involved in just about everything that they're doing in their life.
15% of them are even having, like you said, suicidal thoughts. That is a very high rate. Now, I'm just assuming, because there's not a study here to see how many of these children were involved in either a youth group or had some kind of biblical teachings.
Absolutely. And I can't overemphasize that enough to our parents that are listening this morning and even our students that may be on today, that being involved in a church, not only just a church, and we think about church sometimes as going and being bored to death, but that's what we're trying to do is provide an opportunity for students to come, to interact, to have an awesome time, and to build and be a part of community. Right. Youth need community. Something else too that I think that's important, and this can be for our parents too, is really thinking about what are our love languages that we speak to our students, and how do we interact with them to keep them, not necessarily keep them from having these thoughts. I think we all at times have had this thought. You've been going down the interstate and may have thought, hey, I can turn the wheel and I can do this right now. But lifting them up, having words of affirmation, spending quality time with our kids, those things that we need to be better at parents about.
We certainly do. And, I want to say something. I've been fortunate. I have never thought about suicide. And I have always, and I hear a lot of different views on this, I've always heard that if you take your own life, that's a sure way not to go to heaven. I hear different views on that. We're not going to get into that this morning. But for me, I have never thought about that, and I thank God for that. But you have to have a strong faith, or else, and these kids, if they don't have that, any kind of faith, it doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah, and what this all drives back to is that is there hope out there for these kids? Is there hope out there, even if you're an adult listening this morning? Do you have hope? Where is your hope? Are you trying to place your hope in money? Is it in your cars? Is it in your job? What is it that you're trying to hope in? And I think that people, not that they're just now realizing that, they understand and they know, and this is why they give up in life, and why we give up sometimes in doing things, is that we don't have hope, because we're not placing our hope in the right thing. Jesus Christ came so that we could have hope, and I know this sounds like such an old thing, and some people are even cutting me off right now, but there is hope in Christ alone, and that's the only place that teens can find it. It's not the video games that we play. It's not the, Dave's awesome, he's crazy, does really weird things in the youth group or whatever it may be. One of the things we're doing right now is Fear Factor. That's our new study that we're doing, and we're having kids do crazy things like, eat termites or whatever it may be. But, interacting with them, getting on their level, and helping them to realize that there is a hope found only in Jesus Christ.
And I think you touched on something very big, getting on their level, because it is a different world from teens when we were teenagers, when Jamie was a teenager, to where our teens are today. The respect level is gone.
It's gone.
There are very few morals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, and I'm not saying get to their level that way. I'm saying try to figure out a way to communicate with your child, to express a way to get them to do better.
You know, I want to go back to something that we talked about the first time I came on here was texting. And we went to camp 2 weeks ago, went to a Mission Fuge camp, and I took 33 kids with us there, and we're about to go back down to Big Stuff in a couple of weeks. The whole texting issue that's out there right now, and how a lot of people are, how a lot of parents are not really guarding what their students are interacting with, and kids, girls and guys sending explicit messages, pictures, nude pictures of each other back and forth. It's becoming more and more of a growing problem.
Yeah.
The point I'm getting to is it's not just that. They are leaking out things and talking about suicide, talking about the problems they have in their life. We always talk about how bad technology is. Technology is my friend in ministry. And parents, we can use technology too to interact with our kids. Don't let that pass. Don't let that go.
You know, if your child has a Facebook, a MySpace, Twitter, whatever it may be, get on there and find out who your child is.
Absolutely.
That has got to be the saddest thing in the world. You know, I'm proud right now that our son is doing better on drugs and alcohol, but things that they put on the website, I'm ashamed.
Right.
I mean, parents, you better see what your kids are doing. And
absolutely. Interact while you still can. I mean, the opportunity and the time for you to be there and to interact with your kid is very short. And I know we tend to get in this idea that, hey, we're going to have our kids for the rest of, well, we're going to have the kids for the rest of our life.
The rest of our lives, but it's sad. I mean, it's got to be the worst thing in the world if you lose a child to especially something that may have, after you go back and after that happens, you go back and you're looking through all of this information and it was right here in front of us.
It's right there, and it's sitting there in front of us. And I encourage you today, parents, get involved in your kids' life, not in a negative way, but in a way that will encourage them and lift them up. One of the things we're trying to do today in the church, and especially in our youth group, is be ministers of encouragement. Kids need to hear. They need to be lifted up, not babied, but lifted up, encouraged, and spoken to, not above.
Right, and you know, that's great. And we did talk about, and we're going to go to break here in just a moment, and I hope David's going to be coming back with us to talk about this because we need to get more involved with the teens.
Love to.
But what I was going to say, I lost my train of thought, but what I was going to say is if you don't like the church you're going to, stop it. Find one you like.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing worse than saying, okay, get in the car, we're going to church, and you hear, aw.
Right.
You know, find one your teenager likes, or let them get involved in a youth group
absolutely.
that they like.
And I'm not here as an ad for us. We do meet on Wednesday.
You're proud of your youth
group. In a way,
group.
we are. We're proud of our group. We have a unique group of kids. I mean, it's just an amazing group of kids that love each other, that love to worship God, and love to accept people that come in. And if you're a teen or you're a parent that is looking for a place, Crosspointe is an awesome place to go. But I think the most important thing is that you make it a point to be in a church somewhere on Sunday and Wednesdays. Honestly, I don't really know, and I'm not knocking people that can't go to church on Wednesdays and Sundays. I can't make it without interacting with people on a weekly basis.
It's like John says, taking a bath. We all get to stinking sometimes.
You know, why would you walk around, smelling that way? You're just
get a spiritual lift.
We need to go and we need to interact with people, and that is what encourages teens, and a lot of times, to be honest with you, it keeps them from doing stupid things. It really
and maybe
does.
It'll help get parents more involved too.
Absolutely.
David, hand me that Who's Who magazine if you don't mind. Do want to tell you Who's Who in Athens. You can go to www.who'swhoinathens.com. You can read about David. If you don't know who he is, you can find out all about him. There's some great articles about a lot of people in the community in this magazine. Now online, who'swhoinathens.com. If you did not get a copy, just go and check out all the articles on there. David, thank you so much. We're going to go to break. David could do his own show. He sure could.
Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. All right. If you have a teenager you think David would be good talking to, give him a call. You can find him at Crosspointe Church in Madison, across the street from Bob Jones High School. We'll be back right after this.